And I don't have a problem with veneration at all. I don't think it's worship. All that being said, I do wonder, to me personally, again, I'm so new to this.
Yeah.
But why would I give my attention to anyone but Jesus?
Hi, Jeremy Jeremiah here with Cloud of Witnesses. We had a great opportunity to sit down with David Latting and Ben Langlois, otherwise known as Orthodox Luigi. The conversation was amazing, you guys. It was about an hour and a half long. The full uncut version is available right now on our Patreon. So go to Cloud of Witnesses and check out our Patreon for the full unedited version of this conversation. Here's a clip that we hope you guys enjoy.
Like Upper Room isn't the first people to do this. Like I went to an Orthodox liturgy once with my good friend Sage, and I cried because the priest, like you said, everyone was just looking to the altar. It was all about Jesus. And the icons help with that as well. It's hard to get distracted and not think about God when like every square inch is God. And
well, we should talk about icons.
Yeah, we can talk about icons. I'd love to. But man, I think it's so important that we keep our eyes on the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate about the Orthodox Church.
Yeah.
That obsession with Christ is so present within the liturgy.
Yeah.
The whole service is geared around the presence of God. The whole service is geared around the altar. And it's something that I long for. It's something that I appreciate so dearly. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, that was when I was kind of, studying Orthodoxy from a Protestant perspective, that was something I quickly realized was that Orthodoxy really is Christianity in its purest form in that sense. Like it's just raw Christianity. And one of the things I love about iconography is it brings Christianity to life in many ways. One of the reasons for iconography historically was that people were illiterate. I like to challenge a lot of Protestants of like, hey, what would you do if you got to tell like an 8th century person where to go find truth? And this is just a random century. Like we could pick any century. Right. But it's like, where would you tell them to go? And I'll just ask you, where would you tell an 8th century person to go find truth?
To the woods, man. To find it themselves, brother.
Yeah.
I think about that question. I think it's a really good question.
Yeah.
Where are they at in the world? Are they like what region are they in?
We'll just say they're in the
Europe, Middle East. Great. Then I would tell them to go to an Orthodox church. I would tell them to go. I have no problem with the Orthodox Church, like whatsoever. My friend became an Orthodox believer recently, and I think about him often. I'm like, well, he's just more, he just loves Jesus more now.
Yeah.
Like he just gets now to experience the Lord more authentically. He's more of a Christian now. Like he wants Jesus more now. So I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
So 1054, this is a genuine question. Why do you believe there was a schism?
What do you mean? Why do we believe there was a schism?
Not like philosophically. I mean, literally like practically like the schism between the church. Because from my knowledge, I believe it was cultural. Like it was like, basically it was like, even the language became different, and the Catholic Church, I'm just going to say Roman Catholic Church, the Roman Catholics, they became so separated from Byzantine believers, from the Eastern Orthodox Church. And that's why I asked, I was like, well, where are they at? Because I also have a deep appreciation for Catholicism.
Yeah. We would say that the 8th century church in the West was Orthodox.
Great.
So, as far as there was a formal excommunication on both sides in 1054. Yeah. It really is actually kind of a misunderstanding about that. It really doesn't culminate until the Council of Blackernay in 1285. Okay. That's when all 4 patriarchs excommunicate Rome.
Yeah.
In 1054, it was really just Rome and Constantinople.
Yes. That
had a formal excommunication. But yeah, so we believe that, for the first 1,000 years, the entire West, even though they had the Latin Mass, they had, the Western Fathers, and there were those cultural differences, we believe that church was Orthodox.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying like
same church.
Yeah, it's the same church, but I feel like if I would go to an 8th century church in Constantinople, or then I go maybe farther deeper into Europe, like Italy, great. Yeah, I think the church would be different. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe the liturgies were the exact same. But it feels to me like the schism is a result of because the Eastern Orthodox Church, like the Orthodox Church in general, it's so Eastern.
Yeah.
Like this is such a Middle Eastern place. Like, wow. And then when I go to England, there's cathedrals from the 12th century there. I'm like, wow, these are so European. And even the way that they operate in the liturgy, it just feels different.
So we even today still have the Latin Mass in our Western Rite parishes.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not that those churches weren't Orthodox. And even like the Filioque doesn't get really dogmatized into the creed until the 1200s. Okay. So like really up until then, you're going to be reciting the same creed as those in the East. And that's really, in a fundamental sense, like that is the faith, right? Is the creed.
What about the icons? Because it literally just stepping into, like, why is the Orthodox Church so icon heavy? And I go into the Catholic Church, it's not as much.
That actually didn't really happen until several hundred years after the schism. You can still find, like, a lot of the Western churches that are pre-schism look exactly like this. In fact, I mean, it's crazy how you can, like, we continue to dig up older and older churches, and like there's like 3rd century churches that we're finding that it's like the same style iconography.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
100%. It looks the same thing.
So I mean, the icons, for some reason in the West, this actually has happened in every communion other than the Eastern Orthodox. For some reason, is they've lost a lot of their iconography tradition. Yeah. And I don't know if that's some form of judgment or what that is, but it just is what it is. I mean, we're the only ones that have truly preserved. Every Orthodox parish that can possibly afford it is like this. Yeah. And this is something that we make a huge priority. Right. Because like I was bringing up earlier, I mean, this is how the ancient Christians knew the stories in the Bible. Because think about before the printing press, people didn't have access to the scriptures. Oh, yeah. And people think that was like this oppressive thing. Oh, the church didn't let them have access to the scriptures. And that's partially true, but it's really more just that people weren't literate. Like they weren't literate. There was no printing press. So where would they learn about scripture? Well, they would go to liturgy. They would hear the gospel reading. They would hear the epistle, and they would see the biblical stories. Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit of a tangent, but
no, I love it.
Does that answer your question?
No, it does. It does. Yeah. I just wonder where this, like, I wonder when the icon thing for the Catholics, like, when did it drop off? It
was slow. I mean, it was a slow, and you also have different traditions, like within Roman Catholicism. And so, some of them held on to iconography longer than others. And I mean, it's just not something you see now you go into modern Roman Catholic churches and it's more like statues. Yeah. Before I was Orthodox.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, and actually the Second Council of Nicaea actually prohibits veneration of statues. We don't have a problem with statues themselves. Like, statues are fine, but it's the veneration of them that we prohibit in the Orthodox Church.
Why is that?
It's because it's supposed to be one step away from like reality. So like you and I are like 3D. So it's in order for it to be one, because we see them as windows into heaven. Great. Right. So what is a window? Window is, it's not 3-dimensional. Right. So it's the same way. So when we are looking at these icons, we are literally looking into heaven.
That's great. I love that explanation.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, the statue, it for us, it just has a little bit too much of like a pagan, pagan implications to it, and and so that's why the Second Council of Nicaea. But that's the reasoning it gives, is that it's for it to be one step away from us as live human beings.
When was the Second Council of Nicaea?
787.
787.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's we can get into like the ecumenical councils and stuff, but I don't think it's a coincidence that the Second Council of Nicaea was the sealing of the 7 ecumenical councils, and it just happened to be that the First Council of Nicaea was the first, and the Second Council of Nicaea was the last. And then 7, as you know, is that's a number meaning completion. Yeah. Right. Now in the Roman Catholics, they have over 20 ecumenical councils now, quote unquote. For us, it's still the same 7.
Great.
Yeah.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah.
Wow, remarkable. That's so cool. Windows into heaven. Can we talk about icons?
Yeah.
Veneration?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, so I wanted to ask you a question, and me and my friend were actually talking about this on the way here.
Yeah.
I have a problem, and I'll be transparent with you. One, I think I have a good understanding of veneration. Like, I think it's way more nuanced than what most Protestants think it is.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's worship. I don't believe that it's like you're praying to him in the sense that I would pray to Christ.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's hard to talk about this because there's different presuppositions when I say those words. Like the understanding for the Protestant, they're so against anything but Christ.
Yeah.
That even the thought of an icon and even like giving honor to someone else besides Christ is like literally it's like repulsive to a Protestant because we're taught that.
Yeah.
But in my research, I've learned no. Like, if I ask a friend to pray for me, what's the difference between someone dead praying for me?
Yeah.
Like the bounds there. And I don't have a problem with veneration at all. I don't think it's worship. All that being said, I do wonder. To me personally, again, I'm so new to this.
Yeah.
But why would I give my attention to anyone but Jesus? And it's dangerous to speak from like just my own personal experience. It's I got to be very, very careful.
No, you're just being honest where you're at.
Yeah, but I've never needed the prayer of a saint. I was telling my wife a day ago, I feel like I'm so blessed by God, like every day. I pray and things happen. Like I pray and there's answers there's answers to my prayers constantly.
Yeah.
I have never gone, in lack for anything.
Yeah.
So why would I give my attention to someone else? And maybe I have, again, a wrong presupposition of what veneration is. Maybe what I'm saying right now isn't even an authentic rebuttal against veneration because, I don't have the right perspective of it. So maybe you can clear things up.
Yeah, a couple things. Well, I think you implicitly have I think you have asked for intercession because I bet you ask your friends for them to pray for you. I bet you go to your pastor to ask him to pray for you.
100%.
And I bet if St. Paul was walking around, you would go right up to him and you would ask him. You may not even clarify. If you went up to St. Paul, you would probably just ask him for things. And what I mean by that is, let's say, you're
give me wisdom, right?
Yeah. Well, and that, or let's say you're about to have a child, and let's say your child was ill, right? And you would just walk up to Paul. Paul, can you please heal my child? And guess what's baked into that request? That it's Jesus that's really doing it,
right?
You don't have to clarify. Paul, can you ask Jesus to heal my child? No, that St. Paul is St. Paul, and he's got the ability to do that because God has granted it to him.
That's good.
Yeah, and so it doesn't but that in no way takes away from the glory of Christ.
Be sure to go check out our Patreon. Please subscribe, click that bell so that you get all notifications for new content coming out, which we have coming down the pike almost every day now. Thank you.